Hey, this is Ryan from Blockstack. I'm here to talk to you about decentralization, decentralized apps, and why decentralization is important. From the Wikipedia, decentralization is the process of redistributing or dispersing functions, powers, people, or things away from a central location or authority. From the Wiki on decentralized systems, a decentralized system is where some decisions by the agents are made without centralized control or processing. The term can be traced back to the French Revolution when Alexis de Tocqueville said that the French Revolution began as a push towards decentralization, but in the end became an extension of centralization. Likewise, the internet began as a push towards decentralization, but became an extension of centralization in many ways. Consider the largest US companies by market cap are all in tech, and Apple is larger than all unicorn companies combined. Okay, so let's say that we can push further on decentralization. How do we as a society benefit? With decentralization, society gets more economic inclusion, more freedom, and more innovation. That's greater distribution in wealth, greater distribution in power, and greater overall progress and wealth in society. Okay, now what are decentralized applications? Decentralized apps are ones with a dispersion of functions, powers, and people away from any central authority. Put another way, decentralized apps are apps without a mothership. We know traditional apps have clients and servers, where the clients are often distributed by a central party and the servers are run by a central party. With decentralized applications, there's a protocol and clients and servers that communicate over a network. Note that with decentralized applications, there can be many implementations of clients and servers, and they can be made and distributed by different entities. So take email, for example. There's the SMTP protocol, and there's lots of email servers that communicate over a network, and many clients you can use like Outlook and Gmail. Email is interesting because there's no company that runs it. It's an open network and anyone can participate in it and write software for it. Okay, so how do users actually benefit from decentralized apps? Users get more options, more availability, more savings, and more information security. To remember this, I use the acronym OASIS. Decentralization brings options. There's many email clients to choose from, and that's great. There once were many Twitter clients to choose from, but Twitter shut them down. Decentralization brings availability. Google decided that Google Reader wasn't part of its business model and shut it down. But when you run your own software on an open network, that can't happen. Decentralization brings savings. When anyone can write software for a network, no one controls the platform, and companies can't extract rents. There's more competition. Decentralization brings additional information security. Companies don't need the liability of holding data, and users have more control over where their data is sent. How do developers benefit from decentralization? The big benefit to developers is participation. There's greater ease of development, greater ease of distribution, and freedom from gatekeepers. Common protocols and services lower the barrier to entry for development. Common user networks lower the barrier to entry for growth. What is the difference between self-hosted apps and decentralized apps? There's actually a lot of overlap, but self-hosted apps usually refer to single or multiplayer apps that users host on their own servers. Meanwhile, decentralized apps are typically massively multiplayer apps, where clients are controlled by the users and they interact with each other over a larger network. Is there an actual trend in decentralization? Is it increasing or is it decreasing in society and across the internet? I'd like to present the argument that while decentralization has had contractions and expansions in certain areas, across dimensions, decentralization has been steadily increasing. To demonstrate this, we can use some case studies: decentralized media, decentralized commerce, and decentralized app discovery. In the past, news organizations controlled the media, but that is changing. Platforms like Facebook, YouTube, and Medium are making it easier for anyone to create and distribute content. We went from low content creator competition with no platforms to high content creator competition with platforms that are monopolistic or oligopolistic. The next step is to move to decentralized social networks and content networks. That will give us high content creator competition and no platform monopolies. There's an interesting effect where even though Facebook is a platform monopoly, people have been drawn to it because they have increased capabilities and increased freedom to create content. And people will keep moving to platforms where there's increased freedom, participation, and access. Think about regimes that might want to shut down Facebook. If they can't get access to that, they'll get access to something. This provider freedom is a steadily increasing force, and it's looking for the next step. To get there, someone has to build a quality decentralized social network. With commerce, people traditionally would get their electronics and books from big box stores, but increasingly people are turning to Amazon for that. Big box stores represent very low vendor competition, no platform. Amazon represents high vendor competition, but there's a platform monopoly. People move from the big box stores to Amazon because it's easier and there's more competition, which drives prices down and it allows for more options. The next step in commerce evolution is open decentralized platforms. That means very high vendor competition and also platform freedom. Amazon hasn't exhibited rent-seeking behavior to date, but it will if it kills off other platform competition over a long enough period, and then prices will rise. One decentralized commerce application to watch is OpenBazaar. With mobile apps in the early days, there was very low developer competition, and there was no popular platform. Then the Apple App Store came along, and soon after the Play Store. That heavily reduced the barrier to entry for developers to build mobile apps and increased competition. Now we're in a state of high developer competition but platform monopolies. This leads to large amounts of money being extracted from developers and the ability for gatekeepers to exercise control. The next step is an open decentralized app store that would further increase developer competition, and it would remove any platform monopolies, just platform freedom. Someone needs to build this. At Blockstack, we're working on creating a new decentralized web that makes it way easier for developers to build decentralized applications and get them in the hands of users. If you want to learn more about Blockstack, you can check it out at blockstack.org. That's the end of my Snapstorm, and I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. 1. Why is decentralization important to you? And 2. What is the decentralized app that you'd like to see most?